All right. What's going on, everybody? Coming at you guys again a couple of days later. I'm really trying to do a lot of more solid content, a little more consistent, and where I've kind of settled at maybe is doing probably maybe a video like every 9 days, at least every 9 to 10 days. I think that's about how long it takes for my ideas or hypothesis or whatever that is to ultimately work out. I have coffee early in the morning. So I got a few things to kind of talk about, just kind of recap on today, particularly kind of looking at a recap of what I talked about last week. And I think last week we kind of went over, again, I went over HEX, I went over DBI, talked briefly about Zen, kind of where that's going. As far as HEX, since last conversation, I think we were struggling around in this box area here, so kind of where this 0.048 number is. We've broken out. We're still in the month of February. Of course, we still got a few days in the month of February to break, to pretty much end on a really good note. So 2 good, strong, bullish candles. The community itself is still elated about that. They're really excited about that. So HEX actually did pretty well since the last time I talked on it. Another big gainer that blew my mind, and again, I didn't expect it to happen as quick, was also DBI. Like, DBI just pretty much took off. It's almost breaking where its past all-time high was for the month. So it'll be interesting to see where we go into next month here. But again, this particular token, I'm going to go into more details about. But I just feel that it's on par to probably do a lot more than what we think it can. Regardless of the fact if you picked up any on this, I mean, you've definitely got at least 50, at least I'd say 100%, or your investment, half of it, just from the point up. So DBI definitely was a big gainer. Zen kind of always doing what it always does, fake pump. It's because there's just a whole bunch of sell pressure on this. And one of the guys I follow through Twitter, his name is Sami. I mean, I follow him. If you know who if you probably have no idea who I'm talking about, but let me pull this guy up here, because he's constantly, this guy right here, your friend Sami, really cool guy, really cool influencer, been in the HEX community like since the start, so he's a good OG. But he does really good videos about Zen, to kind of substantiate where I'm at on it and how I'm looking at it. Again, as far as where it's headed now, there's just a lot of massive sell pressure. It's probably headed again. It is headed down to probably negative 100 as far as overall. But again, like I said before, this is just one of those tokens that, like, it's going to be forgotten about, and eventually, if it does gain any resemblance or becomes noticeable, it'll be too late, because the token itself, once there's not massive sell pressure on it, and once the building blocks start getting burned, once everything that's out there is out there and it's burned out, like, that's where the value will be. So that's all I'm going to say about Zen as far as that. But yeah, DBI, man, probably one of the most underrated programs within crypto, I would say, as far as like what people expect, what people think. Because I'll be honest with you guys, when I started just in general with crypto, it didn't start like with HEX. It didn't start with any of these other tokens. I got my start with SHIB. SHIB was the first token I bought, right? And SHIB, if you look at that community, the entire community is focused and based off of a dog icon animal. And it's like they live 90% of their I guess they live 90% of their hope on like Elon tweets. Like, if Elon talks about Shiba Inus, oh man, we're going to the moon, but there's no business behind it. There's no utility behind it, Excuse me while I take a sip. So I bought SHIB way back here, and there's videos where I talked about SHIB, and I frankly remember saying, like, the millionaires in SHIB have already been made. Like, there's all that money was made here, and then the top of this big candle that looks like it's big and solidified. I remember watching that candle just do this up and down, crazy, 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 because people were selling and selling. And then it's, I think it will make people some money. Now, regardless, anybody who bought here, if you notice the two double bottoms, is definitely made profit, and they're in a profit range. But it's one of those tokens that's just so oversaturated. The community's big, but it's not something I would want to be in, because I feel like it's, a lot of people know about it. It's great, but there's better projects out there. DBI is just one of those projects. It's kind of like a slap in the face to a natural meme token, because what they're basically saying is that, don't buy Inu is saying we don't, it's like we don't, there's so many Inu crap tokens out there. If I just type in Inu in nomics, I mean, I could probably just do a general search and I'll get like, look, Solana Inu, Haichuku Inu, and all these tokens are garbage. Like they're pump and dump. It's people trying to get on board, and all they're trying to do is just kind of ride that bandwagon. So DBI in itself pretty much took off, massive gain. I think last time I talked about it, we were down in this area here, so we're pretty much up, testing the all-time high, still holding it. That can't be right. Maybe it was right earlier today, 72 anyway, but I'm still holding it. If you go to Etherscan, one thing I like about the token itself is that if you look at the max total supply, so if we let's look at SHIB's max total supply here. Let me pull this up here. Shiba Inu BEP20. Shiba. All right, so the maximum total supply on Shiba Inu, look at how massive that number is, right? And this is one of those things where I'm like, most people kind of get this in their idea, like, hey, the cheaper it is, the more people will buy it because the price is cheaper, right? Because you think, oh man, there's tons of these tokens and the price is cheap. Let me go on and buy it. And a lot of these Inu dudes, they make these crap tokens. They're kind of, I feel like they're banking on people looking at the price, thinking, oh wow, like it's less than a cent, and Bitcoin went high. I mean, to a point that, hey, and that was kind of like my argument too, and it still kind of is. But at the same token, if your market's oversaturated and you're talking about having a, $7.5 billion market cap, of course, all right, that's why market cap means absolutely nothing. It just takes a lot more energy to move that price up or down. And so it's going to take years, if Shiba hangs around, before it's actually worth anything, I would say. I mean, worth more, There's just too much. There's so much. It's too much, fully diluted. I'm not going to argue that the holders are not a bad thing, but if you imagine, let's imagine 1.3 million holders on DBI, which actually a few days ago, the holders in DBI was 1,600. So we've been picking up holders in this, but there's only 2 billion, right? So just imagine having 1 million holders with a 2 billion max total supply. That's going to equate to a higher price more effectively than, just having a Inu coin and having millions of holders that basically they're all sell pressure. Nobody, I mean, and don't get me wrong, when you buy things, you're buying things to make a profit, but you don't want so much sell pressure on your token, I believe, to where, you have to constantly monitor or watch the chart to worry about, at the top, is anybody actually holding the token? Who's holding the token? Who's got the most stake in keeping the token? Which is why when you look at this, top holder, null address, holds 500 million or 568 million, 568 billion tokens, basically. Cuts it out by a third. It's 28%, right off the bat. Uniswap, 66 billion. That's why I love this. I mean, you got some hold pressure there. That's out. So now the only circulating supply is 1.5 billion DBI, not even 200 billion. So now you've cut it down. Now you've got some room to grow, in my opinion, there. So let's look at coin perspective. Let's say DBI had the market cap from this point of Shiba Inu with just 7.8 billion valuation. And again, these are hypotheticals. It's not real, I would say. But I'd say, let's say that the target price, let's do, again, we'll do SHIB. We know the max supply is that. Let's refresh this. Oh, come on, man. Technology. Let's refresh out here. Not enough reliable information. Oh, come on. No. Well, we know there's about at least so that's your million. So if we look at the total supply, we need 3, 3, and 3. But we need 3 more. Okay. So here's 1.5 billion DBI with the market cap of Shiba Inu. And if we had the market cap of Shiba Inu, our price would be $5.19. So having a trillion coins, like having a massive billion whatever number coins in your token is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You want a max total supply to be somewhat relative to like scarcity and value. And that's what makes Bitcoin so expensive, because there's only apparently 21 million or 21 billion, whatever the number is on Bitcoin. It's the token size or the max total supply, I think, with Bitcoin. Let me just push this around. So their circulating supply of Bitcoin is 19.3 million. So that's what pushes the price so high. That's what pushes it, insanely high, because there's scarcity. So when you build scarcity, you build value, and then the price can pump even higher. So I digress. That's why I think when I look at SHIB, I'm not dogging it as a product, but I'm saying that it's going to take so much energy to push that price to a point to where it's going to be, viable, a point to where like, you can actually have value in the program itself, instead of just having a token that's just popular. And so that's what I'm trying to point at. If 1 DBI was worth $5.19 and you had 100,000 DBI, so we just do some quick math here. So let's say you had 100,000 DBI at 5.19. I mean, that's $500,000 for 100,000. Now let's just multiply that by 4. Said you got 400,000. It's $2 million, right? So getting a million holders into DBI, if they pull out, or if DBI makes a viral content video that gets millions and millions of views, and people start buying it, the price is going to appreciate. The value is going to be in the coin regardless, because there's a business. This guy, crazy guy right here, what's he saying?
You know what my favorite all-time high is for DBI? Is the next one.
The next one. His favorite all-time high is the next one. But to my point, I digress. DBI on Twitter only has 2,149 followers, followed by 3 people. Okay? Of course, the dev. Hold up. Followers, I know. The dev, Hexy Bastard. Hexy Bastard is the founder of another token that I have for free, just PP, which is also on a rip somewhat. Here we go. So, there it is. I mean, this is PP, another token that was given to basically Hex stakers for free. So it's like this is like if you want grassroots DeFi straight up investment investment ideas. I mean, in PP in itself, Sami also talks about that one too, man. And like, that one's headed to places where like no one will understand. Followers of DBI, Chica Roberto, of course. I mean, it's so all I'm saying is, I know that last video I put up, you know, I really am serious. Like, the train is leaving the station this time frame this year. You know, if you can't find or get into a community or a token, something that's going to move or change the way that the game is played, other than artificial intelligence, I mean, you're pretty much getting left behind. And there's not much you can say or do about that. So I'm going to quit my rambling on about don't buy Inu as much as I can pump out about it. But I really hope, again, I say this with disclosures and disclaimers, which I can say to the top of my lungs to tell you as the individual doing the investing, like, do not put the rent money on DBI. Don't put the rent money on PPUSDC, you know. Investing does come with risk. It's not riskless. You know, you can put your money into a token. That token can totally turn on you. And you could be broke. I mean, not everything works out. There's tons of ships that are working out. HEX, I digress. There's so much stuff about HEX in this community that you could talk about that. I mean, you could go on for hours about HEX. And I really, you know, this is another one of those tokens. It's like people are sleeping on it. People are just sleeping on these opportunities. As far as in other news, another cool thing I actually found interesting is that, let me pull this up. Because I actually care about some political stuff. Being a prior serviceman myself, I served in the Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps for like 7 years. This guy right here, his name is Todd Emmer. Okay, he's a House Majority Whip. But he just introduced a CBDC Anti-Surveillance Act to basically halt efforts of unelected bureaucrats in Washington from taking away financial privacy for basically United States citizens. If you're familiar with Tornado Cash is one of those apps that you could actually put your wallet in and you could transfer money anonymously, right? So if, say you wanted to send somebody $1,000, but you don't want them to know how much money you have, you just want to send it to them as a payment, right? You could do that. Well, pretty much the Fed or state came down and said it was illegal because they were concerned about money laundering, right? Which in my mind is like kind of stupid, because criminals right now launder money all the time. I mean, people work under the table all the time. So like, what is the difference? Like, the percentage of people that are going to do bad is like paled in comparison to the people that are actually going to use it for good, in my opinion. And I actually kind of thought about it, and I was like, well, if they really wanted to go after people, all they really have to do is, if the wallet they consider, you know, make the police do their job. Like, make the system work, not us work for the system. And what they should have done is they should have figured out, hey, this wallet's bad. It's associated to this. Hey, Tornado Cash, if you have transactions with this wallet, you need to block it. Okay, cool, we can do that. Instead of like shutting down the entire program and making it illegal and then attacking a United States citizen for trying to give us basically the right to financial privacy. So the bill itself, 3-page bill, really simple. He's submitting it to Congress. It just prohibits the Fed from basically issuing a CBDC directly to anyone. And it also requires them to be transparent as far as it protects our privacy. When you have $1 in your wallet, the government doesn't know you have $1 in your wallet. I mean, you could technically stash away hundreds of thousands of dollars in your shoebox and put it on your bed, and the government's not going to know about it. But with crypto, they just go right here to the chain, and if they know your wallet address, click on your wallet address, and they can see, oh, who's this individual? Oh, there's his account. Let's see, token holder. Oh, look, he's got 22 different tokens. And they can see exactly what you have. Like, where's the privacy in this? There's no privacy on the blockchain right now. There's no right to privacy. Now, the only right to privacy is I don't know who this address holder is by individual. Like, I have no idea who that person is, right? But the government wants it to be the other way around. They want to know who the people are. So anyway, this is important. This is probably the last point I'm going to end this video on. I don't want to really go too long. I'm going to try to kind of like shorten my videos up. But I made a comment, and I also attached something. I'll be honest. Like, I'm a nobody. I'm gonna get like lost in the sauce, so to speak, as far as when it comes to talking and posting and doing things. But I tagged BitBoy Crypto in this, and RG3. Then those two guys, you guys probably already know. Ben Armstrong, been with Bitcoin for years, millionaire, right? Multi-millionaire, family man. RG3, one of the coolest guys in the HEX community, and it was really cool, like, to see them like interact with my post and actually be like, "Hey, we like it." I got a follow from RG3, which is really cool. BitBoy, at least he gave me a like, but it was really cool to, like, 90% of the influencers, like these two guys I follow, and I would wrap in RH in that too, because RH, when you look at PulseX, that whole sacrifice deal was for financial freedom, because money in this society, this man's society, is freedom, right? It's freedom. If you have money, you can travel, you can move, you can get around, you can move around. If you don't have a lot of money, your freedom gets restricted, right? So it's really cool to see them interact to that. And it's really cool, I think, is overall, if you're going to be in crypto, to kind of keep an eye on things like this, because you have to be vigilant and mindful of, what the government's doing. I always equate Twitter to, like, when I look at like technology and I look at where the world's headed, I'm always like, Twitter is probably like 5-10 years ahead of where we are. Like, ChatGPT, I knew about it before it was even an article in a newspaper, like through Twitter, So it's a really good sentiment. And I think it was really good that Elon bought it to, like, save some resonance of human dignity, mindful to, like, the truth. Oh, my baby girl's crying. You didn't know I got 2 kids, one at school and a baby girl. Oh, and DBI just went to 68. So anyway, I hope this video helps you guys. I try not to do like a whole bunch of crazy fluff. I really try to do something that's helpful to you, helpful to, as far as, what your aims are. Because at the end of the day, we're all in this together, whether you're a HEX dude, whether you're a DBI dude, PP dude, SHIB dude, Texan dude. I'll talk about Texan in my next video, actually. Got some interesting points on that. But, we're all in this together. And like always, man, I just wish you guys the best. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I will see you guys later. Peace out.